Friday to you. Shabbat Shalom to those of you who observe. Let me just get myself together here while I am waiting for more people to come in. I'm on a little bit early. I always set it around 7:30, 7 to 7:30. So you guys can expect me around this time. I'm just setting up, so if you planned on coming in here at 7:30, that's what's up. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. Ah, what a beautiful moon. Hello, moon. Alrighty. So, happy Friday, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. How are you, Brian? I see you, my friend. I hope that you had a wonderful, wonderful day. It was busy for me, but we survived. It's Friday. Shabbat. Time for our resting period, everybody. So just chill, pray to God, reflect. This is that time to just rest and not think about too much of anything that's serious. But, I was listening to my news feeds here. I can't rest till tomorrow. Hey, whatever you do to take some rest and reflection time and just peace, do that. Do that, do that. One more day, one more day. I've always made my schedule where I never worked on the weekends because I don't want to. I don't ever want to work on the weekends. And I'm usually a Monday through Friday kind of person. But Friday night to Saturday night sundown, I'm not doing anything. I'm really not focused on anything too seriously outside of studying, getting into the word of God, thinking about something, in relation to his word. That is what I'm doing. But today we're going to be talking about black liberals and black conservatives. That's actually one of my favorite topics. I love talking about just the different black thought tanks, you know, kind of their perspectives as I see it. And I think that, some people may agree with this conversation, some people may disagree, depending on what your political position is. You may have a lot of passionate feelings towards this topic. But, I think that it's valuable sometimes to kind of dig into the social psychological groups of people and just really narrow them down. And because I feel like that's the best way to understand how people operate, how they think. And, a lot of people come onto my content and they're like, well, why are you always talking about black people and black people and black people and everything is not about color? And it's just like, hello, I am black. I'm talking about my people. And if you want to be educated, you are welcome to be here. But, you know, this conversation is for people who want to be educated, who want to be enlightened, and, broaden their perspective. There could be some contrarians who are like, hey, I've always thought about things like this, or I've seen this before, or some people they're like, you know what, I never thought about it like that. So it's always good to have open-ended conversations. So I've done videos in the past about black liberals and black conservatives and my perspective about these groups. And again, you don't have to agree with my own observation, my observations. You may have your own. But at the same time, these are things that I'm speaking on based off of pattern observations. Okay. So here we go. When it comes, and I have a great case study for what I'm about to say, you guys, because Caitlyn Clark has recently made some statements. And the white conservatives and their black face shields, they're upset about what Caitlyn Clark said, right? And like I said, if you follow this channel, you're going to see me focus on both sides of the argument. And I just kind of come in the middle and make sense of what everybody is saying. And if everybody is saying something reasonable or unreasonable, then we'll talk about it. So our subjects today, you guys, for this comparison is Brandon Tatum and Roland Martin. Okay. Brandon Tatum is on that black conservative side of the house. Roland Martin, he's on the black liberal side of the house. But before we get into Caitlyn Clark, right, and some of their commentary on her recent statements, I want to just kind of boil down some of the things that I've observed about black liberals and black conservatives, okay? Mind you, I am an independent. I am staunchly independent, and I have learned not to have a commitment to any bandwagon of ignorance, both social and political. So, again, my perspective is literally outside looking in. What's good with you, Info Warrior? I see you. All right. So when it comes to the black liberals and the black conservatives, I look at the black liberals as that camp, and they're usually associated with the Democratic Party, as keeping the struggle alive. All right. So in this conversation, when I talk about black liberals, I am talking about those keeping the struggle alive folks, right? Right. And then when I'm talking about black conservatives, I'm talking about the camp of black thoughts that says the struggle doesn't exist. Black people are just lazy and entitled and they want everything. And you got to pull yourself up at the bootstraps, right? The black conservatives, they love talking on the white supremacist talking points. And they're kind of divorced of some of the historical things that have happened and demonized to black people because, again, they are shills for white supremacist talking points. Now, I have noticed the liberal black and the conservative black, they have there's some odd allegiances going on. They're both shills for white looking supremacists. They are. But I find that the Democratic liberals, they're more so confined to the Jewish white folks, right? That is those are kind of the puppet masters on the black liberal side. It is the Jewish looking white folks, right? But then consequently, you got the Jewish looking white folks on the conservative side, right? And these black looking conservatives are definitely shields for them. But then sprinkled into that black conservative contingency is also the Zionist Christian, right? So you got the Zionist Christian, Zionist Jew on the conservative side, and then you have these liberal Jews, they're on the liberal side. And these are who these black looking people are typically shilling for. The reoccurring thing with black liberals and black conservatives is they're not really for the agenda of black people. Even the black liberal is not for the agenda of the black person or the black people. They are more so shields for the black individual. That is why people like Al Sharpton and all these other Democratic lemmings, right? They can be multimillionaires and still crying about an idea of a black struggle, right? Because their job is to shield for convincing black people that the struggle is definitely still alive and that we're dealing with some of the same things that Al Sharpton's like great great grandfather dealt with, right? So, and I'm just reading off of my notes here, right? You said Kanye West, let's see, Mike Johnson and Schumer are working together to pass the anti-Semitism bill. Johnson wants it to stand alone. Schumer wants it to hide inside the Nation's Defense Authorization Act. We already know who running the country, so I'm not even about to go into that diatribe. I'm not political, especially when it comes to identity politics, so I'll just shut up and listen. It's all good though. I think that the political parties have really made it about identity politics when it should be about policy. And unfortunately, a lot of people have bought into that. But let's go into some of the things I've noticed about them again. So, black liberals, they must uphold the idea of black oppression without concessions of advancements among blacks and progress. Okay. So that is my observation of the black liberal, right? No matter what advancements are happening within the black community, no matter how many people, the examples of black success that we've seen, their job is still to maintain the idealism of continuous black oppression, which it does exist, right? But not to the degree that they are being kind of sold to, bought to sell it as, right? They are Black liberals are so irrational with a lot of their positions that it actually stifles them. So when you're looking at a group of people who are trying to keep the struggle alive, keeping the struggle alive requires so much distraction from real progress, right? You're so busy in keeping the concept of a struggle alive, right, that you're not thinking about how to progress, right? And there are a lot of black people, namely the black conservatives, many of them, who have decided that they're not going to be on this bandwagon and they're just going to progress, however they can in this American system, right? So, but the thing is about the black conservative is they tend to operate being oblivious to the things that black liberals are hyper conscious about. Okay, what else did I put? Let's see. Black conservatives, the struggle for black Americans don't exist for many of them. Black people should just work harder in a system that don't prefer them, right? So black conservatives will be divorced of the fact that the system is set up for a certain group of people to be successful, and typically that group of people don't look like black people. They will kind of lemming some black people along. There are a lot of tokens and buck dancers, obviously, but for the most part, many of these people, they are oblivious to black struggle. Even though many of them are impacted by it, they're not really, their purpose is not really to focus on that. They're more like, let's talk about what you can do and what the progress is, right? Even if the progress and the opportunities are kind of inequitable, because again, black conservatives can't talk about nepotism. They can't talk about the things that obviously impacts people indiscriminately, no doubt. But when it comes to a lot of these things, it impacts black people the worst, obviously, because there are a lot of stereotypes about black people that are fueled. Liberals will validate the stereotypes, and the conservative blacks, they will seriously perpetuate them by highlighting negative aspects of black people as opposed to being objective and well-rounded about the black American experience, because many of them are self-hating. When you think about the black conservative, many of them, they are self-hating. They understand it's almost like if you can't beat them, join them, with the black conservative. And so they will be on the side, and they will be on the side of not just white people, they will be on the side of white supremacists, white nationalists types of folks, and that's who they really shill for. So with the black conservative, they must identify with the white identity, right? And one of the things that you must have as a black conservative is a white mate. So you look at your top favorite black conservatives and you're going to see a reoccurring thing. They have white mates because these are black people who are self-hating, right? They hate the fact that they are associated with the construct of black. They are those kids in that little experiment where is a black doll, which doll is prettier, right? And all the little black kids said the white doll, right? They are that kid, right? They're the white doll is prettier, it's more inferior, or I'm sorry, it's more superior. Whereas the black liberals are like, black is beautiful, right? It's the black doll. And we got to stop making people think that the black doll is inferior, right? The black liberals are on that. The black conservatives like, we'll take the white doll. We'll take the white doll. We don't want no problems. We just want our life easier, right? And so you're going to see more times than not, black conservative will have a superiority complex about themselves, especially when they're heavily aligned with white people. And it puts them on a pedestal above other black people to the point where they're not going to align with a black mate. They're going to find all kinds of excuses, like Brandon Tatum. I think he got like 2 or 3 videos about why he chose his white wife over a black woman, right? Candace Owens is sitting up there with a white husband, right? Who else? Byron Donalds, white wife. Tim Scott just, put his white wife on blast. You cannot be a black conservative without aligning with a white mate to show your fealty to the white superiority, right? And a lot of people want to jump on, oh, they're getting love. It could be for love, not for black conservatives. All right? Not for black conservatives, right? Not for black conservatives. It will never fail. Shout out to Ben Carson with his black wife, though. But it never fails more time than not. The black conservative, because they are so self hating and because they have a secret disdain for blackness and black culture, they believe that it's inferior. They have been psychologically bought into that, right? That's what they do. You look at any black conservative, you're going to see a reoccurring theme more times than not. Their mate is white. And it's not necessarily about love, it's really about them feeling less inferior to the black complex, right? All right, let me stop so I can read some comments. I know some people are just like in their feelings. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead. All right, I'm not okay. Here we go. Let's see. You seem really chill. Thank you so much. I try to be chill. I'm Canadian. Our black brothers and sisters are welcome equal here. All right. Get Trudeau out the house and I may come back to Canada. You don't talk about P. Diddy. Why we not talking about P. Diddy right now? We're talking about this topic. And so you got to stay on code or go on to a channel that's talking about P. Diddy. Why ain't the first black president tell blacks to procreate instead of making gay marriage? That's a good question. Obama is the LGBTQ president, sir. He's not the black people's president. Hell, he wasn't even black. And y'all need to apologize to President Trump for trying to call him a racist when he was talking about that birther thing, because he was absolutely right. Let's see. Chappelle is pretty conservative, but his wife is Asian, I think. Yep, Dave Chappelle has I think, an Asian wife, right? And I'm not saying, and this is not a conversation to say that, people who interracially date are black people who interracially date non-black people are self-hating, because there are some people who are interracial relationships for organic reasons, right? But when you listen to some of these black conservatives, they absolutely have a reason why their mate is white, and it's so funny. I was listening to Candace Owens. She was, had her husband on her podcast recently, and she asked him about, the image, what were some of the backlash that he might have had with being with her. And then she shared, oh, one of the donors at Turning Point Racist Ass USA, right, said that, I guess when in connection to her marrying the white guy, he was saying, oh, it might mess up your brand, right? Because people are, might be expecting for you to marry a black guy from the projects, right? This is what Candace says on her show, that they might be expecting for you to marry a black guy from the project. First of all, it tells you how ignorant and out of touch these donors are at Turning Point USA to even say something like that to her. Is ignorant of Candace, but also is her validation point while she's sitting there with her white husband, right? Saying that, oh, it wasn't a brand decision for me, which it totally was a brand decision for Candace, because she knows that her base would not even be checking for her like that if she actually did marry a black man. It actually would have been more shocking and more damaging to Candace Owens's brand, particularly if she married a black man. That would have been more of a shock than anything. I don't think anybody would have been shocked if Candace Owens married a white person. That was actually kind of expected with black conservative contingencies. Again, I would have been shocked if she popped up with a black man. That would have been shocking for me. So, it's just one of those things where these people have an excuse for why they need to go white. And they do that because they want to narrate every black person, whether it's male or female, as being unsuitable. That is ultimately what they're doing. They're fueling those stereotypes about black people by saying that they themselves would not even want to align with black women. They will narrate, Brandon Tatum will narrate all black women as being universally these Pookeishas that you see in the hood and all these little ignorant people that they like to narrate constantly because that's their job, right? Black conservatives are really not allowed to talk about black people in an objective or positive light because honestly, they don't get their tokens that way. They really don't, right? Just like black liberals, they don't get their tokens if they're not talking about the black struggles and black disenfranchisement, whoop de whoop, right? These black faces of all these different political positions, right? They're getting their tokens some way, narrating black people in a non objective, overly emotional way. All right. You said you lying on people. Where's the lie? Where is the lie? You said I'm lying on people. Where's the lie? I don't go around lying on people, and I don't go around saying sensational things. So, Sheba, Callie, you got one more time to just make a statement instead of putting an argument on the table, and we're going to have to get your ass out of here. All right. So, what is some more things that I wrote down? Black conservatives are truly buck dancers. They, you know why the black conservatives are more buck dancers than the black liberal is because at least on the Democratic side, the tokens are more plentiful. Okay? I truly do believe that the black liberal race hustlers, they make way more money than these conservative race hustlers, the black conservative ones. Because the thing is with black conservatives is they're going to get an audience, right? They're going to get a bunch of spectators, a bunch of, white bigoted people, a lot of them, that want to hear a black face looking person say something negative about black people, right? So there are tokens to be tossed for things like that. And so that is where the black conservative get their tokens, but they're not really getting like the money like the black liberals, right? They have to build an audience and get all this stuff, and then they can start getting these tokens from these non-white company, all these white companies that will endorse them for talking about black people a lot of times, right? But the black liberals, right? They'll just drop you a couple of million just for saying something sensational and struggle like. So I do see that the black liberals tend to be a little bit more profitable on their race hustle than the black conservatives. And in a way, I feel like where are we at? Let's see. So where's my little arrows? Black conservative is the white man's defenders. Black liberals are the white man's offenders. Okay. Neither one of their rhetoric is a solution for black people, by the way. And at the end of the day, I look at both of them as double talking demons. The media will leverage black people for taking political positions, right? And really, they're creating black operatives. That's what a lot of these people are. They are black operatives. And I think that shout out to Tariq Nasheed because I do like the conversations that he facilitate. And he has a lady named Wani that regularly checks into his content. And Wani said something very, very interesting. Tariq has a video talking about that Luigi guy and sexualizing shooters, right? Making him sexy or whatever. Obviously, he doesn't really like the fact that they're trying to make this guy into a sex symbol, right? He's cute, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he should be romanticized, right? But Wani said some really interesting things about some of these people, how they talk at black people, why they talk at black people. And I do encourage you to check out that recent video. I think he posted it today from Tariq Nasheed, because it's a very great conversation that she facilitates, and how Black people need to start protecting the image of Black America, and how we have a lot of these voices, a lot of these talking heads, and they were talking about the Black ops. Some of these people who are kind of coming into Black spaces trying to act like they're pro-Black, but really they're operatives for people who, for non-Blacks. All right, so let's get into, now that was my rundown of Black liberals versus Black conservatives. And I will say that I can find an agreeable point from both sides of these positions. So I don't want to seem like I'm being biased towards one or the other. I'm trying to be very objective about how I feel about both of these groups of Black talking political heads. But to substantiate some of my claims, right, this was just right on time. Caitlyn Clark recently made some statements, and Caitlyn said something to the effect about her white privilege in the WNBA. And I thought the white conservatives and their Black buck dancers, they're upset with Caitlyn Clark, right? They're like, what a waste. Oh, my daughter, she wants some money. All right, I might have to step away for a second, give my child some money. You never stop giving these kids money. Even when they get out of your damn house, they in your pockets. All right. All right. Just get her there. All right. So she got her car. She bought her own car. So I get it. She didn't even ask me for my money for the car. So that's why I don't mind helping her out, because she did save for her new car. So my baby. But anyways, let's listen to first. We're gonna listen to Brandon Tatum, right? And I can't stand this little dude. I can't stand this dude at all. I cannot stand this Black white supremacist Uncle Ruckus dude at all. He can't say nothing positive about Black people to save his life, because that's not how he get his coins, right? These people are not objective. I abhor Brandon Tatum. I think he's an apostate. These people wear Christianity as like a badge of relevance and credibility, all the while they are double talking demons. And this is one of them. So Brandon is talking about Caitlyn Clark. He doesn't like the fact that she's backing down, right? Let's go here. Today, so Brandon is talking hold on. Let me mute my chat first, because I don't want that. And give me a second, guys. I will be right back. Shoot, outside. All right. Oh, she's not outside. I guess she's on her way. All right. Child is on her way. All right. So, alrighty. Child. All right, sorry about that, guys. Restore all things to Christ, St. Paul. Oh, okay, you're talking about Christ. All right, so let's listen to Brandon Tatum. Let me mute, make sure mine is muted. All right. So this is, I guess, Time is celebrating Caitlyn Clark, because I guess she was Time Athlete of the Year.
That you were apologizing for your white privilege.
Okay, let's go back, because Megyn Kelly was upset. All the white conservatives, they were upset. at Caitlyn Clark for essentially saying that she understands her privilege. She I guess she's recognizing some ideal of white privilege. I don't understand why Caitlyn Clark actually mentioned her white privilege, to be honest with you, because nothing that Caitlyn Clark to me has done has really screamed white privilege. It seemed like she was kind of working just as hard as the other girls, but it's just one of those things that when you are a white player that happens to be really, really good, you're just as good as the black girls, you're just as committed as the black girls. Obviously, that gets a lot of attention, right? But again, it should have been about the sportsmanship. But what I believe, and I did a video about this before, Caitlyn Clark, and this was no fault of her own, this whole Trump, Kamala Harris, um, political cycle, it polarized a lot of people, right? And I think that a lot of people they were playing really race politics, even down with Trump, right? You had all these people talk about some black people you shouldn't be baiting on race, and race is not important because the Democrats were playing the race card, but a lot of white people were voting for Trump because he was a white man. It really it wasn't even about all of his policies, what he was going to do, what he was what whoop de whoop de whoop, right? A lot of white people, not all of them, voted for Trump because he was a white guy, right? So you have this race politics going on during this political cycle. There was a lot of people buying into that, right? And Caitlyn Clark, in my opinion, she got caught in the crossfires of it. I think she got caught in. I don't even think Caitlyn Clark has never came out super MAGA. I mean, she's just been focused on playing the game while all these people rallied around her with their little soft bigotries, right? Because they wanted to see the great white hope go against the black girls. That's why the WNBA actually did well this season because of Caitlyn Clark. It wasn't because how dynamic of an athlete that Caitlyn Clark is. It wasn't literally about that. They can make it that if they want to. She can play good. She's a decent player. But it was really about Caitlyn Clark's whiteness, right? And a lot of people can't be real about that, right? Because they don't want to act like they're an inner bigot. But it was about that. And I bet you the WNBA's ratings are going to tank because some of these little loyalists that actually gave them the ratings and actually bought into the merch and all that stuff, her increasing the revenue for the league or whatever, just with her presence, I don't even think that's going to be there next semester, especially now that Caitlyn Clark has come out acknowledging some idealism of white privilege, right? So let's go.
Yeah, your announcement for Athlete of the Year, like tremendous, incredible positive feedback. That's what we've seen across the board. There's always going to be some negativity. And I feel like you have had to answer more questions than anybody about the intersectionality of race and gender and sexuality in sport because of just who you are and you represent the growth of this thing. And even today.
So this black woman is saying that Catlin represents the growth of the league, right? This is a black woman telling this white woman, Caitlyn Clark, that she represents the growth of the league. So this is, to me, there's nothing for the conservatives to be all bent
Earlier
out of
today,
shape
Megyn
about.
Kelly, she was saying that you were apologizing for your white privilege and the fact that you wanted to uplift black female athletes and make sure that they were getting the shine, kind of like your pioneers were getting the shine that they deserved. And I just want to know how you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them.
And this is Brandon Tatum. So I want y'all to hear how Donkey Kong is going to talk about this.
In a mirror a little bit, yeah, but it still comes down on your shoulders.
I feel like I always have had really.
I want to play. I'm gonna.
What you talking about?
Megyn Kelly's thing real quick because she missed.
He's reading. He want to read Megyn Kelly. I don't care what Megyn Kelly said because Megyn Kelly is on a white woman coat because this other white woman is not as bigoted inside as she is.
For being white and getting attention, the self-flagellation It says the
These white folks like Megyn Kelly, they feel the same way that black folks did when the Jews came after Kyrie, right? We was mad Kyrie didn't stand 10 toes down. Them folks going after him for sharing a documentary from Hebrews to Negroes, and they demonized that man like that. Caitlyn Clark is pissing off the white folks like this with her white privilege comments. They don't like that. If you're a white person and you're their great white hope, white privilege should never come out your mouth because you piss off the white folks. Some of the white folks that actually buy into that bullshit. And I tell you, the most supremacist looking white people that just uphold those ideas, just look at them. It's like, you're not genetically supreme, sir. You're not genetically or even economically supreme, sir. You know, if you have legacies of people from trailer parks, you guys aren't supreme. Yeah. Sorry to break it to you.
oh, please pay attention to the black players who are really the ones you want to celebrate. Condescending, fake, transparent, sad. Now let me just comment real quick on this. I don't know
Okay, go ahead and
if they
comment.
paying her to do this or she's just getting enveloped in this locker room.
So the conservatives think that, quote, the woke mob has got into their precious great white hope, Caitlyn Clark. That's what they think. They think that the wokeism, which is pretty much dying, like, I mean, you look at woke ideology is on a lifeline in America. A lot of people are outwardly rejecting a lot of those bags of BS, right? But they're saying that Caitlyn Clark is bowing to the woke mob. You mean the woke mob of Kamala supporters who are coping because she just lost? You mean that mob, the mob that had so less influence that they couldn't even get Kamala Harris, so-called black ass, elected? That mob? I mean, come on now. Let's make sense. Caitlyn Clark is an organically good person. And maybe for her, she's just like, I understand what my black counterparts may have to go through as opposed to me. But again, I don't really understand the context of her statements of white privilege, though, because I mean, how are you privileged? I mean, you got into the league the same damn way as everybody else did you not? You know, did she have some kind of special treatment to get into the league, or was she just a good player like all the other people that got into the league? Where does the white privilege for Caitlyn Clark really come into play? The white privilege probably for Caitlyn Clark came when, because she was there playing against a dominantly black female league, right? That the white women, the white people decided to support the WNBA. So in that regard, if that is what Caitlyn is talking about, it was a privilege, but it was your privilege to be white and playing against these black girls. And the only reason why these people actually wanted to see those games was to see if you were going to flex on any of them. Were you going to be just as good as them? Right. And this is the sad part about it. You know, her whiteness really was just, it was like a pawn for a lot of these people. Like, I mean, so I don't even understand where Caitlyn was getting white privilege in anything that happened this season for her, unless she was getting special treatment.
Victimhood. You don't have to apologize to these lesbians, these black lesbians, because you're better than them, because you're sexier than they are.
Okay, so this is Brandon Tatum, right? Again, these black conservatives, they cannot be objective about black people at all, right? And so this dude is saying that these black lesbians, right? He didn't say some people in the league, some whatever. He's being very broad stroke about all these women, all these black women that play in the WNBA, right? But he doesn't go a step further, right? He needs to validate, elevate the white woman, right? Now the white woman is like, I ain't trying to be elevated, right? I'm trying to, not do that. I don't think Caitlyn Clark is on the same shit that these conservatives are on at all. I don't think she wants to be a part of the way that they think about black people, right? Because again, that's that superiority complex, and it comes from even these monkey-faced black people that they draft over there, right? So here he goes.
Apologize to these lesbians, these black lesbians, because you're better than them, because you're sexier than they are.
No, she's not. Now let's keep it a buck, Brandon Tatum, and this is the shit that I'm talking about, right? You got to elevate these white people so much that you sit up there lying. No disrespect to Caitlyn Clark, but she's not a looker. She's not a looker. She's not even the best looking of white women. But yet this buck dancing Negro need to just say anything to elevate this white woman above black women. So he gonna even lie about her sexiness. There's nothing subjectively for me, and I'm not hating. There's a lot of beautiful white women that I've seen. She's just not one of them. But keep on going, Monkey Shine.
Professional, and you're young, and you're bringing something else to the game. You don't have
like what? What else is Caitlyn Clark bringing to the game? See, he's trying to make Caitlyn Clark more superior than even she wants to be. These white people want Caitlyn Clark to elevate and operate with a superiority that even she doesn't want to operate with. And that's the weird shit.
I have to apologize for that because nobody cared that you're white. I don't understand that. Only people that care that you're white are black people. The rest of the people
No,
don't
we
care.
don't. Black people don't care if Caitlyn Clark is white. White people care that Caitlyn Clark is white. That's why the NBA, the WNBA ratings went up because of white people, because they cared that she was white and she was playing against black players. She was their great white hope. So this man is just sitting up on his ass lying. Because black people could care less if she was white. But white people care. I mean, let me take that back. There are some black people who might have cared that she was black. Some of those black supremacists, because we do have black supremacists in the fold, right? But for the most part, it was the white people that really cared that she was white, because they were the ones paying for her ass. And maybe that cut some kind of way. Maybe that was a reality for some of the black players that, hey, black people don't really support the WNBA like that. White people do. White people support the WNBA, and it's clear by their ratings hike that when you pull some of these MAGA, any of these little supremacist-minded people in the picture to champion a white person like her, the ticket sales, the merchandise, all that stuff is going to go up. So don't be putting that on black people.
Basketball. It's enlightening to see a pretty, feminine girl who can play basketball and is a baller. Nobody cares.
I don't see anything super feminine about Caitlyn Clark at all. Like, I mean, I feel like she's decent looking. She's average at best, right? And, I mean, again, he needs to elevate Caitlyn Clark. He can't say the same shit about Angel Reese, who is also a good player, who is also pretty, right? But he can't say those things. He cannot be objective. And Greg Foreman, that black conservative perspective, when he was covering this, he really said something tacky. I can't even think about that bug-eye thing anymore because he done really lost his way. I don't even pay attention to Greg Foreman. But this is Brandon Tatum, right? This is the conservative side on Caitlyn Clark. Now let's get to the liberal side with Uncle Roro. All right, so we're going to listen to this again. And now this is Roland Martin giving the perspective, right? Same issue, Caitlyn Clark.
Getting the shine that they deserve. And I just want to know how you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit,
Yeah.
but it still comes down on your shoulders.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic and, you know, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is.
I guess I'm trying to figure out, why is it so problematic that Caitlyn Clark is interested in uplifting black women? Why is that so hard for some of these white supremacists on the conservative side? Well, we know why it's hard, but I'm trying to figure out, why is Caitlyn Clark getting backlash, right? She's saying, I'm being true to myself. You know, her truth is that she plays ball with a bunch of black women, right? She's around a bunch of black women. She's not about to elevate herself amongst a bunch of black women who actually helped pave the way for her to even exist as a female basketball player. I don't think she's interested in doing that. But apparently, some of the white supremacists on the conservative side, they need her to do that. They're upset that she did it. And again, they were triggered because she mentioned her white privilege.
Uplift them, I think, is very important. And
again, I don't know why Caitlyn Clark mentioned her white privilege. I really feel like in the context of this conversation, she could have avoided those words, but she didn't. But those words is what triggered the white supremacists and their little black buck dancing shills on that side. And I'm just very disappointed in you, Caitlyn, and she really missed an opportunity and missed this and missed that. It's just like, shut the hell up. The conservatives are double talking demons too. They got a lot of hate aware of.
And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic and, you know, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Yes. And you'll never be able to make everyone happy. And someone that knows that at the age of 22, like, let's go.
I mean, I think I have good perspective on that. And like I said in the article, which turned out amazing, I thought it was great. I said, I feel like one of my best skills is just blocking things out. Like, I don't really, the only opinions I really care about are the people that I love, my teammates, my coaches, the people inside of our locker room.
So Caitlyn don't even care about some of these white folks' opinion about her. She care about her teammates who happen to be black. She care about that. She's talking about what she cares about. She don't want to care about what you people want her to care about. She don't want to exist the way you people want her to exist. And y'all got a problem with that. Y'all got a problem with this white woman refusing to be on your bandwagon of ignorance and superiority. Go ahead, Caitlyn. What you saying, girl?
The people that I see every single day, and I know had my best interests at heart too. So I think my best skill is just blocking out the noise, and hopefully it continues to be, because with the way things are going and where the WNBA is going, you want that attention and you embrace it, and that's what makes this so fun.
Yeah. I'm just so thankful that you are the leader. Like, you are the chosen one. And
this black woman is saying to Caitlyn Clark, I am so thankful that you are the leader, that you are the chosen one. So it is clear that black women don't have a problem with Caitlyn Clark being in the lead. Black women don't have a problem with Caitlyn Clark being a face of the lead and actually being one of those next generations in the lead that's leading the lead. This black melanated woman, as Brandon Tatum, melanated woman, right? These Negroes hate black people. They hate the skin that they're in. Black conservatives are some of the most self-hating people on the planet, right? And it never really works out for them. Again, like I said, the black liberal, if we're going to grift on a political side, the money is a lot better on the black liberal side, all right? Because these white conservatives, a lot of them, they ain't really paying these black conservatives like that. They don't get the tokens, the coins, the way that the white liberals will dish them coins out. That's why they can get more black loyalists on that side, because they pay more, right? Black conservatives, they're just buck dancers to the idealisms of some of these ignorant ass white people, right? And they need to generalize black people, stereotype black people so that those white folks can feel better about themselves, right? But kudos to Caitlyn Clark for not being one of those people. But let's talk about Roland Martin, because him and Jamil Hill,
Best club on the market.
they were talking about this, and I felt like Jamil hit the nail right on the head. And like I said, Jamil is a Democratic shill. I don't really support everything that these Democratic shills be saying, but right is right. And I do like what Jamil said here. Let's go, Uncle Roro. What you talking about, man?
Well, y'all.
Well, y'all.
Lost their mind. Charlie Kirk, that white racist who leads Turning Point USA. This was a tweet that he posted. Y'all go ahead and show it. Caitlyn Clark is getting very bad advice. The whole country is rejecting wokeism and anti-white ideology. She has a chance to stay neutral and failed miserably. Her handlers saw this as a chance to, quote, keep woke alive, unquote. Too bad. She's an amazing athlete who totally missed on this one. Then, of course, you got this white woman, what's her name? Riley Gaines. Now, she done made a name for herself because she was in some swimming competition. She lost to a transgender athlete. Well, she came in 5th place. So it ain't like she's a winner at anything, but she's got like 1.4 million followers. And so they made her this superhero on the right. And so she's been commenting on everything left and right. And so, again, I don't understand. I don't know what she's actually done, what she's actually accomplished ever. So this is what this fool tweeted. Y'all go ahead and pull it up. No one was asking for Caitlyn Clark to position herself as a right-wing hero. All she needed to do was remain neutral.
What the fuck are you talking about, Riley Gaines? You said no one asked her. Who the hell are you and you people to make requests to Caitlyn Clark about anything? Right? This woman is living her damn life while you living your damn life being beat by transgenders, Riley Gaines. Right? You talking about you just jumping on some shit, Riley Gaines. Right? That's what Riley doing, right? You need to focus on getting beat by them dudes with balls and they lipstick on, but yet you sit up there talking about Caitlyn Clark. No one was asking Caitlyn Clark to position herself as a right-wing hero. Bullshit, Riley Gaines. Bullshit. You know who was expecting for Caitlyn to position herself as a right-wing hero? All them mofos that increased the WNBA revenue this past season. They were expecting for her to be the great white hope. And that's what they were trying to make her into. All she needed to do was remain neutral. Remain neutral in what, Riley Gaines? They're talking about the league. They're talking about her position in a dominantly black woman's league. What is she staying neutral in, right? If you really think about it, Riley never made anything about race. Angel Reese did not make anything about race. They saw an opportunity to have a race card being played between Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese. And the right wing jumped right on board with that race card being played in the WNBA. So these people are so delusional. They're just as delusional as the people on the left. It's like y'all act like y'all shit don't stink over there on the right. So what is it? She's a phenom who inspires countless young girls to play and achieve. So I still have great admiration for her, but she missed the mark on this. What did she miss the mark on? I'm trying to figure out what Caitlyn Clark missed the mark on. She's Time Athlete Person of the Year. They're talking about her struggle and some of the conflicts that she's dealt with in the league. Again, the league made the shit about race. It wasn't even about the players. Like the players were reacting, in my opinion, to some of the intentional shit that was happening to set Caitlyn Clark up to be this elevated person, right? But that had nothing to do with Caitlyn Clark, I don't believe, and I really don't think it had anything to do with Angel Reese.
She's a phenom who inspires.
Riley Gaines, you can go kick rocks, go swimming and get beat by a transgender dude. I don't care because I think she's out of pocket, and she doesn't have any right to tell Caitlyn Clark, what she's missing on anything. Caitlyn Clark is speaking from her experience, and as she said, I'm speaking my truth. I'm being my authentic self. I'm not being the person that the white supremacists and their black face looking puppets want me to be. Good for you, Caitlyn Clark.
Desperately wanted Caitlyn Clark to be the great white
hope. The great white hope.
Hold on, let me pull all together. They want her to be the great white
hope.
Christian, perfect, anti-black, woman loves a man, superhero. That's what they wanted. I mean, and so they are losing their mind because she showed respect to the black basketball players before her because they hate the WNBA, they hate the black lesbians, they hate the black people, they hate them because they take the stands. That's all this is about, and they are showing their real racist position.
I can't.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't.
Roland,
I
I'm so
don't
glad
think
that
they're
you broke it down that way because we knew, most of us that have followed women's college basketball and follow Caitlyn Clark's career in particular, we saw some of the people forming behind Caitlyn Clark in formation. People she didn't ask to form behind her. So they essentially weaponized Caitlyn Clark's success. They weaponized her popularity. And they made her their avatar for everything they can't stand about black women. Let's just call it what it is. And when she didn't deliver that to them, they got mad. Just like they got mad when she liked the Taylor Swift post, social media post of Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris. They lost their mind then. So we see the common theme here, Roland. Whenever Caitlyn Clark shows any level of appreciation or respect for black women, they hate her guts. And so their position could not be more clear and obvious because I'm just laughing.
I mean, and has it ever occurred to some of these white ringer type of weirdos that Caitlyn Clark is not on your team? Like, I mean, you drafted her to your extreme team on the right. Caitlyn Clark obviously is more liberal. She's more liberal. Caitlyn Clark has not one time bought into the MAGA personalities or fanaticism. She's been cool, calm, and collected this whole damn time. She's nothing like those people, some of those people on the right. She's not. Like, not from where I'm sitting. She's nothing like those Looney Tune right wingers, right? Because they got some Looney Tunes over there too, and they full of hate. But they'll claim God, faith, and family with your wicked ass heart. Some of them got some wicked ass hearts, and they're apostates to the core. Talking about God and then you want to have all that hate and vitriol in your heart. I can't wait for God to destroy these wicked people on the earth. Just set them all on fire. Not all of them. Obviously, the righteous will be preserved, right? But a lot of these wicked people, I can't wait. I just ask for God, don't rapture me. I don't want to be raptured into anything. I just want to be kind of like in a cloud as I'm watching all the wicked people and pedophiles burn alive. That's like a dream of mine. Like on Judgment Day, I just want to be around to see that.
Y'all did all this talk when you thought she was your personal superhero, and now she's disappointed you because she said something that was so freaking obvious anybody could see it. It's like, yes, this league was built on the backs of black women who contributed. Need I remind people who started the WNBA, the core group they started it around. It was Cheryl Swoops, it was Lisa Leslie, and it was Rebecca Lobo. 2 of those 3 are Black women. And the history of the game is littered with Black women who have made contributions. She said a long time ago, Caitlyn Clark did, that her favorite player ever was Maya Moore. So this is just so laughable and it's so predictable. And now Riley Gaines, who honestly, she need to thank trans athletes, because if it wasn't for the trans swimmer she lost to, we wouldn't even know who she was
At all.
And at all.
Right.
And Megan Kelly, who I also heard has something to say about this. Hey, I'm sorry that she doesn't hate Black people the way that y'all wish that she did.
I know. Basically,
In this video, we're going to be
I'm
talking
gonna
about
have to agree with the liberal position on this side of the
Social
house.
trends.
This side of the argument. And again, the personalities of these Black liberals and these Black conservatives, they definitely come out when you're talking about things like this. You know, from my position, I don't see why anybody would be upset about the comments that, Caitlyn Clark made. But if anybody's going to be upset about it, I can see the white bigoted people being all out of their bunch because they thought that they had a white hope and a hero in her, and she's like, sorry, I never said that I was going to be that for you, right? But you got these old monkey faced Black conservatives over here just all up in their pockets talking about, because she's on the side of Black women. She's on the side of Black women. She can pay respects to Black women. Many of these Black conservatives, it's just you can't get them to talk anything favorable about Black people unless they're like, oh, look at what this Black person said. Oh, it's in favor of Trump or in favor of, we got another lemming of Black person. That's the only time they monkey dance for Black people. Other than that, they're shaming us in front of, for all their little white audiences. But moving on, and no shot to the, white folks that actually are good white folks. When I say white folks, the people who follow this content, you know which ones I'm talking about, right? We're talking about those ones that are hit with that special Satanism, all right? So my good white people who follow me, y'all know what's up. So y'all not over here being offended. It's those ignorant, bigoted ones with those silent bigotries. They're the ones in their feelings, and they can get their asses off of this page real quick. But anyways, before we get going, I was going to talk about Remy and Papoose, but I don't even want to talk about that hot mess. The only thing I'm going to say about these married women who are leaving these loyal men is you're going to be single forever. I think Kevin Samuels, he said it the best, right? It's just going to be you and your dildo, right? And because a lot of these women, they are at, and I feel like we have this weird thing where there's a 40 plus midlife crisis thing going on with a lot of married women, where they are either in tune with Instagram or these social media platforms, following how other women are living, whatever it is, but they are leaving good men thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. And then when they go out there and realize that, you at this age, honey, you were probably just a C-rag to a lot of these dudes. They ain't even trying to get real committed with you like that. So you done left your committed relationship, left your husband, so you can go out there and be on the block, being that woman, trying to live off some fantasy, whatever. And when he moves on, that is, and I think what it is too, is these women that are doing that, they think that they are bigger than their men. They think that they are way bigger than their men. They think that maybe they're attractive, maybe they got more going on for them. And at some point they feel like, okay, I don't really need you. But then when they realize they're going to go out there, half of these dudes are not going to ever want them the way that their men did, if that. And their man is going to be able to move on. Papoose is able to move on, right? Because he's a man. He's a man. And I think the reality for most women, whether we want to, reject it or not, is if we leave a good man, we are never going to find another one. Not in this day and age, but it was even rare in the past. If you sit there and leave a good man, a good partner, you might as well consider yourself alone. Alone forever, because you're not going to replace that quality. You're only going to downgrade. You're only going to downgrade. You're going to get to the point where loneliness is going to cause you to possibly want to just take up with any old bum. So I tell my married women, hey, honor your marital vows, stay off the internet. Don't try to compare your life to some other woman's life who's probably not even showing you the real thing about her life, right? I wouldn't do it, ladies. I'm looking at Tia Mari, I'm looking at Remy Ma. They spazzing out. Both of them look crazy as hell. Tia and Remy look crazy as hell. Crazy as hell. And Remy is Remy almost 45 years old. Honey, Remy is not going to find another dude that's going to be papoose like him. And if she do find another dude, he's not going to be marrying her. And if he does marry her, he's probably looking for financial gain. And that's what it is. So I feel bad for people who are going through different things. Remy, you made your bed, honey, and now you got to lie in it. Shout out to Papoose for moving on with his life. It's like if you let a man know that you don't want him, you done cheated on him with the help, because that's what Remy did. She cheated on him with the help, right? Embarrassed the man all over the damn internet, and Papoose wasn't even saying a whole lot, all right? It was Remy, the one who just kept calling the attention to the situation by being around this dude, fueling the speculations, embarrassing that man. And he stayed with her while she was in jail all that damn time. Now she's coming out and saying that he beat her ass. He was abusive. He wasn't the dude that everybody thought, that he wasn't the ride or die, do anything for you type of dude that everybody thought him to be up until this point where he done got rid of your ass and found somebody else. Now you're telling the truth about Papoose. I don't even believe a lot of stuff that Remy say about him. I really don't. But anyways, I'm going to close this out. Chicago is not playing. Chicago is not playing. And Zoe Lee, y'all know who Zoe Lee is? That black lady. I think she's a Trump supporter. She be hitting those city council meetings and just giving it to him or whatever. Zoe, I got to start following Zoe on YouTube. But Zoe is not playing, right? She's coming in and giving it to the Mayor Brandon, whatever that dude is, the Democrat mayor that just shilling for the Democrats and ruining Chicago with all them human liabilities, aka immigrants. That dude, he just getting his coins, right? He's like, shit, the Democrats told me to do this and I'm just doing it.
Administration is unconstitutional.
They're telling him
coming here. You know I've been coming here for 2 years. I don't have to tell you about my case anymore because you know about my case. Mary Richardson Lowry, you know about my case too. And you also took an oath. All of y'all took an oath. Y'all are straight violating the U.S. Constitution. But y'all sit and talk about how Trump is so unconstitutional and how he's going to overturn the government and he's going to do all this. But I've been coming here for 2 years. This is the Democratic Party. This ain't Trump. This ain't Matt Gaetz. We come from the federal level to the state level, to Governor Pritzker, to Kwame Raoul that we cannot find, who's the Attorney General, to you guys fighting for some illegal aliens who haven't put a dime in this country when my mother has a building that the city of Chicago Buildings Department demolished because this disgrace alderman over there, 17th Ward, David Moore.
All right, so they are going after their aldermans, right? Let's go back here because here goes Zoe. Like, they got a hit list now. What you saying, Zoe? I just wanted to hear Zoe because she be going off on their asses.
Now, before you get offended and try to stop me from saying what I'm going to say, You a biblical person, so you say.
Ooh, you know, a black woman is like about to give it to you. If anybody got a black mama, when they start putting the Lord into your before you're rebuking, you know you done messed up. All right. When the old black woman bring the Lord in it, right? You about to get rebuked.
Just like I am. The Bible speaks of stupidity. The Bible says that the children of Israel were a stupid, stubborn, stiff-necked people. That was the reason why they couldn't get out the wilderness. The stupidity of this administration, the stupidity of this administration to think that we don't know any better than to know that you all are going to pass that budget with all those tax increases. The stupidity to think that we don't know that you all could have corrected this stuff a long time ago. The stupidity to think that you all could come with this type of cut, this type of recommendation, and not come with the true accounting of how much money was spent on these illegals. You all.
So they're raising the taxes in Chicago. They're trying to raise the taxes on these people in Chicago to compensate for the poor spending that they did with those migrants, those human liabilities. And somebody actually had the nerve to kind of attack me for calling them human liabilities. What is a liability, right? You know, it's stuff that you're paying on. It's coming out of your pockets in some way, right? That is what illegal mass immigrants are. They are human liabilities. Unless they're coming specifically to do something, we know it. We know how they're going to be put to work, right? Outside of the orange fields and all that stuff that the Republicans and the Democrats benefit from, right? Because both of them benefit from illegal immigration, right? Both of them do. Don't let no Republican sit there and talk shit about a Democrat knowing that they're benefit, especially you Republicans out in Texas. Y'all sit up there and double talk to them people out there in Texas. Act like y'all got a big ass problem with these migrants. And y'all know that y'all are benefiting from those migrants.
That's the biggest financial downfall of the city. Yet, there has not been any type of audit, any type of financial accounting for illegal immigration.
Tell the truth, girl.
It is stupidity of this administration to think that we did not know the other day at the budget meeting when they had the law department here, that key members of the law department that sit in here every day, like that Levine, like that other one with the glasses, to think, Mary Richardson, Laurie, that you really could make us try to think that the city and the county are so different, so separate, that they don't intertwine with one another, especially when it comes to public corruption. For you to insult people like that.
And you know what irritates me is people will try to narrate Black people as being so inferior in our knowledge, right? But I don't hear a whole lot of people coming at these people like this at all. It's like, this is an intelligent Black woman, whether or not she went to Harvard or wherever. She didn't go. She looks like she just normal person from the block, right? But common sense does not happen in the classroom. Common sense is not taught in the classroom. They can indoctrinate you to communicate like this.
We believe that you did an 800 survey of voters that made you all step back and look at what you were voting on when we stood at this mic.
This is a fact-based argument from her perspective.
Money, we was coming for them seats. That's where it came from. Not from no fake 800 people.
So she's saying that we shook y'all up. That's why y'all had to come back to the table and reconsider this. They are acting up in Chicago. And I hope they keep giving this, what's his name? Brandon Johnson. Buck dancer Brandon Johnson. I hope they keep giving Brandon Johnson the business out there in Chicago. And this is how Black people need to be standing up, even to these Black faces that these non-Black people put in these local governments, right? Just to be an ass in the seat, all the while all their little homies on the back end are doing things to screw over the people at a local level and short squeeze them. So kudos to this sister and all these brothers and sisters who are showing up to this Chicago City Council meeting to continuously give these Black, white, it don't matter, politicians the business. Kudos to y'all. Just keep giving them the business. Embarrass they asses. Get sound bites. And what you say, she already got a chopping block. I got to go look at her YouTube channel because they picking little council members and they're calling them out. She said, you about to be famous.
What we started. Make You Famous Friday.
She said, Make You Famous Friday. So they got a thing called Make You Famous Friday in Chicago now with their city council, where they basically put, I guess, certain members on blast. So whose turn is it this time, Zoe?
I'll get it through your thick heads that we not playing. Afro Elite pulled the name yesterday.
Oh, they pulling names. So he said Afro Elite pulled the name for Make You Famous Friday, right? Who
Michelle Harris.
Michelle Harris.
Sit there and rock like she don't hear it, but everybody knows when you hear your name, it triggers something inside of you. Tune in, 6 o'clock on Zoe Lee, Leigh, YouTube. We're going to make you famous, Alderwoman Michelle Harris.
Ooh, they going to make her famous. Let me go. All right, y'all. Well, I gotta go now because I want to go binge watch Zoe Lee's channel because apparently she's making the crooked council people in Chicago famous, right? So Zoe Lee on YouTube, if y'all want to get into this tea as well, but shout out to Miss Zoe Lee. Let me get into the chat and then I'm gonna get off. All right, here we go now. I can't read all of it. Like, there's a lot going on. I guess a lot of people had some feelings about this Caitlyn Clark thing. Caitlyn Clark is better. Yeah, Caitlyn Clark is better than compared to whom? Compared to whom? She's the Steph Curry of the WNBA. That's why she's important. She's definitely talented, but unfortunately, the white folks that supported her this time around didn't really care about that. Look at how they're turning on her because she's kind of woke. So they don't give a fuck about her skills at the end of the day. So that's sad, though. She is talented. Women's basketball sucks all the way around. I agree. Like, I mean, honestly, thank Caitlyn Clark because without her white ass, they wouldn't have the ratings that they did. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, I even said that nobody cares about women's basketball, right? I expect for the ratings to drop next season because she done pissed off the white folks, the new, audience that they got, right? So we don't even know if they gonna come back because she's not as racist as they want her to be. She don't hate Black women. She don't want to get on a mic talking shit about Black women the way that they want her to. And they're like, you should just stay neutral and don't speak your feelings about anything because, they're not white supremacists enough. So you said Angel Reese is on steroids. Prove it. You said Caitlyn Clark is beautiful. She all right. She's not the prettiest white girl I've ever seen. Let's see. People are turning away from the WNBA. They weren't organic anyways. They weren't organic. You said, damn, we not Black. I'm sorry. Do you want me to call us Negroes? I know some people, they would prefer to be called Negroes because that's actually Negro land is a place than to be called Black. At this point, the identity issues of Black America is something that I don't want to absorb anymore in my life. or whatever. So I'm at the point now where you call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, whatever makes you comfortable, and I'll do the same, right? Because I'm tired of all the word playing about race and shit, to be honest with you. I know people say, no, we're not black, we're Hebrew. We're not Hebrews, we're African and pan. I don't give a fuck about all this racial identity stuff anymore. I'm more like, I'm a child of God. I'm a daughter of the Most High, Yahuwah. I service the King Yahusha, and that's who I'm loyal to. I mean, my color is not going to be my salvation, and it's just what I believe. So I'm not going to be tied up with all these color constructs when I'm focused on being a good person. And I am a good person, you know. I'm very real and cynical, but that's what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on being black or black enough or any of those things. All right. You said American Indian. I got some of y'all folks in me too, but it's like that's the thing. We're mutts. I always tell people we come from nations of people, right? Constructs are black, constructs are white. They really are constructs. But if you peel back the ancestry of a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of cross ancestry in a lot of us because really no group of people on this earth are homogenous. You're talking about millenniums of race mixing and people mixing and this mixing and migration. Nobody's pure. Nobody's pure, right? Only idiots will take constructs of supremacy and actually take them seriously, right? But when you look at most people who have, this high sense of white supremacy, they're typically low value people. And I'm not talking about money, right? Because even rich people can be low value because they're not really working with good 5 social values. And that's just what it is, right? Let's see. I think us whites are less upset about her being woke as we are upset about another athlete trying to spread propaganda. I didn't get anything that Caitlyn Clark said to be propaganda. I didn't even get anything that she said to be woke. I think that she was making a comment about her position in a space that has been predominantly black, and she is acknowledging that and I'm pretty sure Caitlyn Clark saw how the league would play on certain things as well. So, I mean, I think that she was very objective. I don't think she said anything super offensive to white people outside of the fact that she was defending and being a shield for black women. And again, if we're talking about unity in America, my question to some of you people who talk about, so we're all Americans and we're God-facing family, is why the fuck do you have a problem with this woman and what she just said if you don't got hate in your heart? If we're all Americans, and why can't Caitlyn Clark, this white woman, talk about black women the way that she did, especially when she's sitting across from a black woman who is giving her flowers, right? That black woman was not trying to do any type of violins or set Caitlyn Clark up to say anything. She's giving her flowers. I mean, look at what this black woman is telling to Caitlyn Clark. So she's not the racist here. The black woman is not the racist. She's sitting up here giving Caitlyn her flowers. And in turn, Caitlyn is comfortable enough to take those flowers, but also give homage and the flowers to people that came before her. So, I don't I think that some of these people, the white nationalist type of people who they're so traumatized by woke culture and their white fragility has been attacked so much that they don't really understand how to read between the lines. I don't think anybody forced Caitlyn Clark to say the statements that she said, and she actually came out doubling down on them. And that's nothing to do with the woke mob. I think that's just how she truly feels. So let me know what you guys think. Let me go back to the comments. But I think that, my thoughts are that Caitlyn Clark is an organically good person. She's not the bigot that some of you white right-wingers want her to be. You know what I mean? And they're talking about she should have stayed neutral. Neutral in what? What is this neutral that the right wing is talking about Caitlyn should have stayed in? This neutral zone. What are you talking about, Riley Gaines? What are you talking about, Megan Kelly? Right? Because not everything is this woke disease. Matter of fact, I think that the right is kind of turning into a woke disease. They're literally becoming like the reverse of the left. It's like, okay, we're getting leverage, guys, and now we're going to turn into a woke disease ourselves. Right? So there's a whole lot of ideological diseases in this country, and the left is one of them, and the extreme right is another one. So again, if some white person can tell me what Caitlyn Clark should have stayed neutral in, as she's having a dialogue about a league in which she exists in, I would really love that. Neutral equals shut up and dribble. That's sad, because I think that people are more than, that. Greetings from Mexico, as always. What a beautiful smile you have. What's going on? Merlos, I see you. That's it. She's keeping it a buck. She grew up watching black women play in the WNBA. She don't care what anybody else thinks. She said what she said. Thank you, child of God. I agree with you 100%. When it comes to the Caitlyn Clark argument, I'm going to have to agree with the commentators on the left. I am not going to agree with the commentators on the right, especially the black ones, because they are literally demeaning black women and mad at Caitlyn Clark because she refuses to elevate herself above black women. She's actually keeping herself pretty level to them. And that irritates some of these buck dancing Donkey Kong people on the right conservative. So let me know what you think. I would definitely check out Greg Foreman and Brandon Tatum for the conservative side of this commentary. Listen to how they speak about black women, right? Listen to how they need to elevate Caitlyn Clark above black women. Listen to how they're making it seem like Caitlyn Clark's comments is to appease black women versus showing them respect or showing homage in a space that is dominated by them. They want Caitlyn Clark to be up in there arrogant and ignorant, and Caitlyn Clark ain't trying to do that. So anyways, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Nobody grew up watching the WNBA. I know. Well, what do you mean nobody? I mean, because the WNBA was out when I was a kid, and I'm about to be 42. So the WNBA has been out for a while. I remember when Cheryl Swoops and Lisa Leslie, they were big. It was a big deal. You know what I mean? And no, nobody really supported the WNBA. That's why the women are always bitching about, we want to make more than the men. It's like, well, get more ratings, get your franchise up like the men franchises, and we'll talk equal pay, right? But maybe if they get more players like Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese and some of those players that can really give people a show beyond the race card, because that's all Caitlyn Clark was for the WNBA last season, was a race card. And the white folks who were kind of bigoted, they wanted to see that race card play. And that's why the ratings went up. So anyways, you guys, women don't support I don't. No, we don't. Like, I have never, ever, like, girl, are you going to go, girl, the game on tonight, right? We don't talk about sports like men talk about sports, and we damn sure don't talk about WNBA like we would talk about any other sport. It's like, if I'm saying the game on it tonight, I'm talking about the men's sport. I don't even watch women's sports. I really don't. No disrespect to the women. I just don't want to see us. You can say hi to my Uncle Gordon for me, please. I don't know your Uncle Gordon, Jenny, but I hope everybody is doing well over there. Y'all do it. I hope everybody's doing well. Peace and good vibes to you and your family, and peace and good vibes to everybody's family, right? So that's my position. Recap on the black liberals and the black conservatives. And these are just my opinions, right? Black liberals are all about keeping the struggle alive. Black conservatives are about being oblivious to the conflicts and struggles of black people. Black liberals must uphold the idea of black oppression without concessions of advancement or progress among black people. For the most part, they are so irrational with their commitment to their position that it actually does stifle their progress. Whereas the black conservatives, they are going along to get along. Okay, these are go along, get along people, right? They are, if you can't beat them, join them, right? And a lot of them are, we're going to bow to white superiority, right? We're going to hyper elevate ideas of black inferiority so that so the white people can feel better, right? And the best way for them to show their fealty to white people is to align with a white person, right? So when you look at the reoccurring theme of black conservatives, you're going to see a white mate, because their self-hate is so strong that black people are that inferior to them, and they actually will take it upon themselves to make excuses as to why their mate is white and not black. And again, no stab to those who interracially date. If you do it organically for love, maybe you just guys kind of been hanging out or whatever, and life just happens as it should. Cool. But Brandon Tatum, for example, he says a lot of bullshit about black people. Yeah, Ghetto Planet, go look at his video. I think like he had 2 videos talking about why he prefers white women over black women. And, obviously this guy is not culturally connected or in tune with black people enough to know that not all black women fit the construct of ghetto and uneducated. Like, and all these little narrations that he liked to perpetuate to his audience, right? But they will make excuses all day long why they chose a white mate over a black one, where really it was just about their self-hate, and they exist in more superiority when a white person has accepted them as their mate versus them having to deal with these inferior black people, right? It's sad, some of these folks. It's so, so sad. And the white folks love, some of the white folks, not the good white folks, but the bad white folks, they just love these black conservatives. They love them just as much as the black liberals. The black liberals love the black folks that are addicted to the struggle. It's insane. You guys check out the survey in here. Where we got here? Do both black conservatives and black liberals fuel stereotypes about black Americans? And this was almost a split poll, but the yeses won. 54% of the folks in this poll say that they do believe that both black conservatives and black liberals fuel stereotypes about black people. We'll keep this up for a couple more seconds and we'll close it out. But thank you so much to those of you who took it upon yourself to participate in the poll. You said people hate their race. Race is such a construct. I hate the construct too. You know what I mean? I hate the construct too, but if I just have to be confined in one, it's like, I don't hate being black, right? Because I don't associate black with being anything negative, right? Black is who I am. It's not what I am. I still have to go out and be intelligent. I still have to go out into the market and demonstrate that I'm a value. And that's what I choose to do. I don't sit there complaining and crying about what's happening in Satan's world, right? Because what will be, will be, and there's nothing new under the sun. So for me, it's all a construct. It's all a construct. I think being a child of God is better than being a race, personally. I'm finished. You can off, Queen. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. And hit that like and subscribe button if you did content like this. My goal is not to inflame you I'm here to educate, have serious conversations, and if we can meet in the middle, which I want us to do, that'd be great. So love your neighbor as yourself. If you would not disrespect or abuse yourself, do not disrespect and abuse your neighbor. Bye.